All right. I'm just gonna start into it. I'm just gonna go. We're
Do
gonna
it.
cold start it. I'll get to the intro. Whatever.
Sure.
We're doing a I'm- we're doing a late night edition.
Yep.
I'm on a couple. I'm on a couple right now, and hopefully this will turn out to be one of our better podcasts.
Yep.
And then
Hopefully.
it'll give me a reason. It's either gonna be good or bad. I mean, it's not gonna be in the gray area. That's for sure. Because I'm a few beers in, and I'm ready to roll. How about you?
Yeah, no beers, but got a little bit of whiskey and some of that blue dew. So,
Oh shit, we're back on the blue dew today, huh?
always on that blue dew, man. I can't get enough of this shit. It's gonna kill me. I need to stop drinking all this damn soda. But I love the blue dew. Mm, mm. And it doesn't mix with whiskey. So don't try to do that.
Mm-mm.
But it's a nice
Mm-mm.
chaser. And you don't always
There
need
you
a
go.
chaser for whiskey, but you do when it's this garbage. Renfield and Sons, J.J. Renfield and Sons. Sorry,
Not J.J.
guys,
Abrams and
not
remakes.
trying to get a sponsor from you fellas.
Because
Christ,
your whiskey be cheap, it be garbage.
it's
It needs a blue dew chaser.
it says 8 years old. Doesn't mean that it was aged 8 years. It literally just says 8 years
It just
old.
is 8 years old.
It's just old.
Hey, we found this shit in the back.
It has been
It's
on the
old.
shelf for a while. Change the labels. People will buy it when we say it's 8 years old.
There was a 3 under there. They just changed it to an 8. They're just like, just put a couple more bumps on it because it's been that long.
Right? Don't put aged on there because we didn't age it. Like it wasn't aged in a cask someplace. It's just old. People will buy it when they think it's old.
They think it's old. It wasn't aged that long. It's just no motherfuckers bought it for 6.5 years.
Tastes a little bit like plastic because that's what the top is. It's real old.
Ah, shit. All right. Well, this is another episode. We did it. We're recording. It's real. And I am going to get into the intro for all you people out there listening. This. Nah, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to fuck around. Welcome to the Real AF TV podcast, the show where we talk about fishing and random takes from the land of 10,000 lakes. I'm one of your hosts, Josh LaBa. On the other side, we got.
I'm Tim Wagner, and I thought you were gonna go all like radio, just get all smooth. And this is Real AFD, and just like all of a sudden you got music I didn't know was coming in.
I was about to. I just couldn't do it. I just was like, nah. I just can't do it right now. Well, we got our typical 2 topic format. We're gonna talk about fishing in the front and our random take on the second half. I
Yep.
got goldfish and koi fish for the first part, and
Yeah.
then I got favorite childhood movies. We're gonna get a little personal in the back half of the podcast
Ooh.
because I think
Ooh.
that's fun stuff to do.
Yeah.
But I think it was last episode. I don't know for sure, and we'll see how we release these and all that fun shit. But I swear you just mentioned koi fish one time because you were trying to fish crappies or something like that. And you just mentioned it, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make that a whole entire topic because in the area where I'm from, in Chaska, they have been a huge pain in the ass. And I was just like, well, we used to just flush all our dead goldfish anyway all the time,
Yeah.
which is like, yeah, I mean, they're fucking dead, right? Like, flush it. But really, you probably just throw it in the yard because who cares? It's just a dead fish and it's super tiny.
Yeah.
But then well, it was actually a couple weeks before you mentioned it. Like, these are a huge problem. Like, just straight up goldfish, not even koi fish. Goldfish get fucking huge. Did you know that? I didn't know that. They get big.
So I didn't know exactly how big they got, and I haven't seen it a lot, but I know that Shannon's uncle caught one in the pond behind their old house, and it had to have been like a pound and a half fish, maybe close to 2 pounds, just a giant goldfish. And I was like,
Yes,
I
that is
had
a
no
it was a
idea.
97-cent goldfish from Walmart, and now it was a
Yeah,
pound and a half, the
yeah,
size of his hand. An adult man.
I believe it. I mean, it all depends on their environment. Like, I didn't know they could get that
Mm-hmm.
big, but when you keep them in a small fish tank, they're not going to outgrow their size. If you're only feeding them a little bit of food and they only have a small space to swim, they don't get big. But when you put them in a large area, they get bigger. And it depends on how much they
Yeah.
feed, too. I mean, like, just America's kind of proven that with the bass population. Like, in Minnesota in our colder weather climates, the fish will not get as big as the fish in the south because they go on a diet every
Mm-hmm.
winter. The fish in the
Mm-hmm.
south, their metabolism is high because the water's warm all the time. Like, I mean, it gets colder, but nothing like what we got up here. And they
Right.
just keep eating, and they actually live unhealthier lives. Their life expectancy is shorter, but they get so much bigger. They get bigger faster, and they die quicker. But
Really?
but they get, yeah, yeah. Their life expectancy is shorter because they're less healthy because they eat like crazy down there. But they're,
Oh shit.
yeah, they they get a lot bigger down south,
Right,
and it's the
yeah.
same
I've definitely
fish.
seen largemouth bass like from the south, which is part of the reason why hopefully this leads to a situation where we can go fishing down south because I want to go down there because I know you're already a bass fisherman type of person. I want to go
Oh, for
south and
sure.
catch some of those bigger bass. Like, dude,
Yes.
even as the non-fisherman on this podcast, I still want to go do that because we've already established this. I still fish, but
Yeah.
to go down there and to catch those bigger bass. I just didn't realize that like you could catch a 7 pound bass down there and it could be 3 years old. You catch a 5 pound bass up here, it could be 10 or I'm making up numbers off the top of my head, but kind of that discrepancy
Yeah.
is the
Well,
thing.
I mean, like, you can kind of judge everything by its age. Generally, like, the bigger the fish, the older it is. But
Hmm.
but down there, they just eat more. They just keep eating and stuff. So up here and down there, like, the same age fish could be a lot different. But I mean, like, down there, it's not uncommon to catch a 10 pounder. I shouldn't say it's not uncommon. It's not out of the realm of possibilities. Like, you can definitely do
Hmm.
it. A lot of people have caught 10 plus pound fish down there. That's not even a
Hmm.
possibility up here. The state record
When you
is,
say fish, you mean like a bass,
oh yeah,
like a
yeah, a
largemouth?
bass, right? A largemouth bass, yeah.
Hmm.
Down
Hmm.
there, you could, a 10 pounder is definitely something that you could go put in the boat. Like, we could go right now and
Hmm.
have a real legitimate shot at catching a 10 pounder. Here, nope, not even a possibility. State
Just
record's like
that
8.6
fish does
pounds.
not exist up here.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
yeah, it's something like that. 8.6. Smallmouth is real close to the same, a little bit smaller, but
Hmm.
largemouth, smallmouth, like,
But that's the state record.
state
That's a
record.
state record
That
fish,
is
and you're
as
just saying
big as,
like on a any day out fishing in the south, if you fish in the right spot, you could snatch up a 10 pounder.
right. Yeah, if you're fishing the
Damn.
right lake in the right spot, you have a chance at a real legit chance at catching a bigger bass than what you could ever catch in our state.
Ever, yeah, what you could ever catch up here, which is even crazier because the local I got this info from the local paper right here in town. In Chaska, the Chaska Herald reported that these goldfish can live 25 years. So
Whew.
just to piggyback, and it's an invasive species. Like these fish are causing trouble
Yeah,
and they live 25 years. Like could you imagine that? I don't know exactly where they got it from, but like could you, a
I don't
fish
know.
that wreaks havoc on an ecosystem and it lives 25 years. Like holy shit, dude.
Yeah,
To
that's
hear that,
crazy.
yeah.
I didn't know they could live 25 years.
I know that's like the oldest fucking fish ever. It's like you think about how this 98-cent goldfish can grow up to be bigger than your hand and weigh quite a. I mean, for what we would call a panfish around here, I guess
Yeah,
it's a heavy ass panfish.
Yeah, that's a big
and
panfish.
it lives in swarms
Hmm.
that wreak havoc on the ecosystems that they live in. And it does that for 25 years. Like, holy shit, dude. No wonder they're a problem.
Yeah, I mean, if they live that long, I didn't know they lived that long. That's news to me.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I, yeah, I was super surprised to see that. I just couldn't imagine the capability of, because they're fast breeders too. Excuse me. And is that's another thing they wrote about in that article that I read, the Cheska Herald wrote about, is they breed super fast. So I don't know, because we've talked about how walleyes are, you know, I don't want to say an endangered species, but they're a well kept, well observed, well documented breed of fish in Minnesota. We keep the DNR's got a hot eye on the walleye.
Yeah.
If if the walleye isn't considered a fast breeder and they have tens of thousands of eggs, then what the fuck is this fish doing? What are these goldfish doing? Like,
Well, it might be a difference too. Like, I don't know for sure, but it might be a difference too of where they decide to breed. Like a walleye is more particular on where it's gonna go. Like they swim from the
mm-hmm,
main lake up a creek most of the time. I
mm-hmm,
don't really know how they do it. Like on a lake like Chaminade doesn't have any creeks, so I don't know if
mm-hmm,
they're actually spawning there. I know that that's a lake where they stock fish, so
right.
maybe that's where it's coming from. And they don't. I honestly
Hmm.
don't know where they spawn on. I know that they like go up and they chase other fish when they're spawning, but I've never been on that lake early enough in the year to see spawning walleye because they spawn like right after ice out. So
Oh,
like
okay.
in these other bigger lakes where the creeks are running in or the rivers are running in, like that water's moving, and a lot of times that water opens up before the water warms up hotter, and like especially up north farther you can be looking at fishing a
Mm-hmm,
lake where the water is still super cold because the ice got out just a week before fishing opener because
mm,
it's colder up north. And
mm-hmm.
all those fish, like I know on, I haven't fished it much. My mom's cousin owns a resort called High Banks Resort on
Shout out High Banks Resort.
shout out High Banks uh on Lake Winnebagosh up north.
Mm,
And
there we go.
that's pretty far up there. And we went and fished the opener there. And um, that one time, I want to say it was like maybe a week and a half before we went up there that they finally got ice out. Like it was real close,
Hmm.
maybe like 2 weeks. It wasn't much. And when
Mm-hmm.
we went up there, all of the all of the boats were set up where this river runs up because those walleye had already ran up that river to spawn and they were coming back down. So
Really?
all these boats were set up where that river was, like waiting for the everything to or all the
The
walleye to
walleyes to just
swim.
like dump back into the lake,
Hmm.
essentially?
Yeah, like some of those people were catching monsters.
Really?
It was a real odd day. Like we were fishing and we did pretty
Odd
good.
for you, or like odd for fishing in general? Like, what do you mean?
Kind of odd for everybody. Upsetting,
Okay.
upsetting for me. Like I caught I caught 4 fish that day, and they were all nice eaters. And
Mm-hmm.
my wife and my cousin, um, both of those ladies caught like 20-plus inch fish. Neither of them wanted to touch them, so I have a photo where I'm holding both fish and they're on each
Right.
side of me. And I didn't catch the big ones, I caught all the small eater fish. And those were like the only ones they caught that day. but I was putting them.
Those were all walleyes though. Like even your fish were
Everything
walleyes
was
too.
walleyes, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I
Hmm.
I caught the one that got away. I'll go back to that in just a second.
Okay.
Little funny story, but um, I caught a bunch of eaters, and when we went back that day, everybody's talking about their catches, and we're having a fish fry, and all these people are jealous. Like they're just like, "Oh, we really want to eat fish," and I'm like, "Yeah, well, I would have gave up all these fish if I could have caught a 30-incher like you guys did." But you're over there just like, "Yeah, I caught a 30-incher, but I don't get to eat any fish." It's
But I
like,
can't eat
go
it.
get a sandwich, celebrate your 30-inch fish, bud. Like, I don't know. We were on opposite sides, so it was weird. Like everybody was like okay with what they did that day, but nobody was real happy. It was weird. Like we all had success, but everybody was kind of bummed out. That's what I mean by odd. It was like everybody caught
Right.
fish, but nobody caught exactly what they wanted to. But the going back to the one that
Yep.
got away, um,
Mm-hmm.
I was fishing and I was jigging a little bit deeper in this one spot where we hadn't fished yet, and all of a sudden, like I felt something kind of, and I'm like, I got a weed, I think. And then like it was just like there was still something there, and I'm like, well, I guess I gotta pull it in. Like I don't know what this is. Like I thought it was a fish. Now I'm not sure. And I pull it in. Like there's definitely something still on my line, and I get it up to the boat, and I have another line that I snagged. And I'm just like, oh,
Mm,
like maybe it's like a lure or
great.
whatever. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But then I pull it in, and I'm like pulling it up to find it, seeing if maybe that there's gonna be a lure on the other side, and there is a nice eater walleye still on the line, alive, but just like completely
What?
exhausted, so it's barely fighting because it,
So it's got a lure in its mouth or a hook or
yeah,
something
it
in its
fought
mouth, and
somebody
you
else.
pulled the line.
Yep,
No way, and snapped the line.
it snapped somebody else's line, and I
Yeah, that's what
snagged
I'm
the
saying. It
snapped
snapped
line.
that
Yeah,
line. Yeah. What the hell,
yeah. So
dude?
it broke somebody's line, and then I snagged the line, and it was just completely exhausted, and that's why I'm like, it kind of feels like a fish, but it's kind of not. And it was because I
Oh
snagged
my
somebody else's
God.
line, and I had just like this completely exhausted walleye that was like had
No
no energy
way,
left to
dude.
fight me.
That's crazy.
Yep.
And then what? The line slipped out of your line and away it went again?
No, I landed the fish. Like we ate it.
Oh shit. So you when you say you got the one that got away,
Yeah.
you didn't have you caught the one that
I
got away.
caught the one that got away.
What the fuck?
Yep.
That should be the title of this fucking podcast. I caught the one that got
I
away. What the
caught the one
fuck,
that got
dude?
away.
That's so crazy.
Yep.
All right.
I've had some odd moments fishing, but
No. Well,
that's probably
to
the
bring it
weirdest
back
one.
on to bring it back on track, have you ever caught a koi fish or a goldfish? You said Shannon's uncle did,
Yeah, so
but like
I've never even caught like a carp uh, um that
just never even just a
well
wild carp, just normal what
not
we would just call carp.
right. Yeah, which is I
Yeah.
mean a koi and a carp are real close to the same fish. I mean, it's
They
just
are. I actually have brought up here that they can breed with wild carp. Even the goldfish can breed with wild carp. It
really
almost always, yeah, they can, and that's actually part of the problem is that they can breed with the carp that are actually out there. The good news is that the majority of those offspring, and I can't remember if it was just the goldfish or the kois, but they're like mules.
mm,
They live, but they can't reproduce. They're just born sterile. So
yeah,
like
just out there
thankfully
running
those
around.
ones don't. Yeah, those don't. But they're still destructive, right? Because they're still gonna live for 25
Dude,
fucking years and
I've
destroy
seen
everything.
I've seen some on the Sauk River, like when the water's shallow, long, long time ago. I used to work overnights, and when I got done with my shift, I'd go to the river like early in the morning. It was like 5 o'clock or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, and
Nice.
I would see these like big ass carp, and the water was relatively shallow, and that river has real thick matted weeds, And
Mm.
these things were, I don't know what they were going after in those weeds, but they were just rooting through them like hell. Like
What
I'd
the
get there and I'm
hell?
like casting in the morning and the water is just like thrashing and I'm like, what is
What?
happening? And then I got close enough to see it's just a carp going ape shit on the like thick matted weeds. Like I
What the hell,
yeah,
dude?
and I didn't think they were carnivores, but it definitely seems like it was trying to track something down that went into the weeds. And it happened
Whoa.
multiple times. Yeah.
Really?
Mhm. They're crazy.
That's
But
wild.
yeah, but
But
that's
you're
the thing.
casting over them and shit, is I'm guessing?
Well, no, I
Like,
was casting
the
the
reason why you probably never caught one is because you're just going over the top of them, or what?
well, I wasn't trying to cast to them, but they don't eat. Like I still don't know what they eat. I know some people go out and like
Mm,
fish
mm-hmm,
for them with like corn or whatever and
mm-hmm,
all this stuff, and I know that they're
mm-hmm,
a big reason for a lot of the dirty water lakes. Like if you have a big
mm-hmm,
population of carp, they're just kicking up all the soot and stuff off the bottom,
mm-hmm,
making the
mm-hmm.
water dirtier. But
Yeah.
um, I kind of got a little bit sidetracked when I was saying I never caught one because I have caught one, but I never caught,
Really?
but I never caught one with it actually eating the bait. I did snag one in the dorsal fin one time with a crankbait,
What?
and that was a crazy fight, dude. Because
I bet that was.
when you hook them in the mouth, you can kind of turn them around and you can kind of pull them in and you can kind of will them to come in. Like it makes it harder because you're pulling them towards you. You know, they constantly getting turned
Yeah.
around. But when
Well,
he,
it has a direction when it's doing it because the
yeah,
mouth is always going to be like forward, and if you can get it
dude,
turned around, it's
he
backwards,
was,
it's towards you. I mean, however you want to say it, but it's directional. But
yeah,
for where's the dorsal fin for explain, and then
right on,
how that
yeah,
fucked it up.
dorsal fins on the back, right on the top. Like when you see a shark swimming in the water and you see that popping up, that's his dorsal fin. That's right on. That's the top one on the back.
Hmm.
And I snagged it right on the back. And dude, it was like an 8 pound carp. But I swear to you, that
Holy shit!
8 pounds not even that big for a carp. They get to like, I
Really?
I want to say the state record is like 55.
Jesus
Yeah, they
Christ!
get real big. But I snagged it in that dorsal fin, and it was like a world's strongest man with like a jet on his back, like he's strapped, but he's just like just pulling that full size plane, like he's just going. Like like it just kept pulling drag and it never let up. Like a lot of fish when I'm fighting them, even in the river, I have a good idea of what I'm fighting because they all have their own
Hmm.
little fighting sense. Like
Okay.
smallmouth will keep pulling and you'll get a little let up and they'll keep going. Uh, Northerns like to make runs, like they'll just pull real hard and then you won't get a lot of fighting and then they'll pull real hard again. Walleyes have a
Mm.
real thump thump thump. You kind of a lot
Mm.
of people talk about
Like
that.
pulse fights,
Yeah,
kind of.
like you can feel it pulsing and you're like I'm pretty sure they kind of shake their head like they're trying to kick the lure that way.
Kind of like a dog with its toy, almost.
Yeah, yeah. But
Mm. Mm-hmm.
this and there's two different times I've caught something where I'm like I have no idea what I have. Like not even a guess. And it was this guy because it just fought and fought and fought and never gave up and never stopped running. I'm just like, I don't know what is
What
this
the
what a giant
fuck?
catfish is like? I don't know what it
Mm.
is. It's very
Mm-hmm.
disappointing when you finally get it up there. You're just like, oh, really? I've been fighting this thing for like an hour, and it's a carp that I snagged in the back, and you're just like, well, I guess that was exciting while it lasted, but this is a very
Like
unsettling. It's like an awesome
shit.
movie, and then you get to the end, and you're like, really? That's how this
The ending
ends?
just sucks.
Ugh.
Do you know how long you actually fought it for?
It was a long time because he was using the current to his advantage. It was in the river.
Oh,
I
yeah.
never
Yeah.
timed it. I'd say it was easily a half hour. I fought him
God
for a long time.
damn,
Then
dude.
I finally
And
got him
what
in,
is
and it was
that?
like that movie Quarantine, where,
Oh shit, I didn't watch it.
yeah, probably, I know you're not into horror movies like I am, but Quarantine is a decent movie where they quarantine off the building, and there's like some mutated form of rabies, and there's like this grandma that kills a cop, I think, like with her bare hands, and you're just like, God damn, this is dangerous shit. And everything's going on and stuff, and then the very end of it, you get to a scene where the camera drops on the ground in night vision. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, but here's the deal: if you didn't see it before here, spoiler, the real big spoiler alert is that they played this fucking ending in the goddamn promos.
Oh my
It,
god. You
I
gotta be fucking kidding me that they
literally,
did that.
I
Oh my
literally, I
god.
saw it
You
in the
idiots.
theater because I thought the promo sounded good, like looked good, and I'm like, that looks pretty cool. I gotta admit, I'm gonna go check this one out. And like we're watching it, and like the camera falls, and this girl like is getting close to the camera, and right before she grabs it, like it's night vision, so she can't see anything. She's not sure where she is, and right before she gets to the camera, she gets pulled away. And this is like when they get into the patient zero's
Mm.
apartment or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
that I literally was sitting in the theater, and I go like thinking about, all right, we've been in here for about an hour and a half. We're close to the end. I audibly leaned over to my wife and I go, this better not be how they end this fucking movie. And it ends, and I just go, God damn it.
Out loud in the theater.
Yeah. Are you shitting me? This is I a 9-pound carp that I snagged in the back. All this for that? God damn it.
God damn it! This is the 9 pound carp that I
Yeah.
snagged in the back.
And
What was that like though? Because it had to have been because it was swimming forward, which means it was taking your lure sideways.
it would have been pulling the lure backwards, but the lure goes backwards easy through the water because the bill catches the water and forces the lure down. If you're pulling it backwards through the water, there's no resistance.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't ever tried it, but it's not going to do anything. Like
Right.
the way the front bill is faced, it's kind of like pointed down, and it creates that resistance. But when you pull it from the other way,
Mm-hmm.
it goes through the water pretty easy.
Oh,
It's it's
okay.
it's like a
It still fought weird. I mean, it still felt weird though.
because
It
it
had
just
to have,
dude,
right?
it just
No.
never stopped.
Oh, like
That's
the
how
fish was just crazy.
yeah, it just never stopped pulling. There was never a run.
Mm-hmm.
There was never like one part that was harder than the other. It just kept pulling and
It
pulling
just
and
was like a
pulling.
constant
Yeah,
full bore pull.
yeah, and I was just like, this is just like I gotta have like 1,000-pound fish on the other side of this. Like I don't know what this
It
is.
must be a fucking shark.
Yeah, I got to like this is an episode of River Monsters. Like this,
I
I didn't know we had something like this in our state, but apparently we do, and I have it. I don't know. My mind was running wild. Like
Oh, I'm
this is
sure
why
because
I
the
don't go
adrenaline
swimming.
hits you when something like that happens. Like the adrenaline just it really like hits you, and that's the thing that we've talked about before is just like there I didn't think adrenaline would hit you the way it does when fishing. Like but there's something about when you feel that just wham, your body reacts and you're just like, "Oh, it's fucking
Oh,
on." And
dude,
you go, go,
yeah,
go, go, go.
I just get excited, like to catch
Oh, dude.
any.
Yeah.
Like I said, like I've said it in past episodes, like just Pokemon, like just the excitement to see what you got. Even in Pokemon, like there's stats and stuff that are different. Like when you see something and then you pull it up, you're just like, oh, that's this thing, you know?
Hmm.
Like you just,
That's a quick side note. I actually was out hunting today
yeah,
because Sarah had to go back to the house and I just kept walking the dog. So I was out hunting Charmanders.
yeah,
Boom. Caught her a shiny one. She's been wanting a shiny one since
dude,
for a year, dude, and she wanted one. I caught it. I was so fucking stoked. I was like, "Yes, I get to go back to the house and fucking tell my wife that I got her a shiny."
nice,
Woo! I
woo,
was so pumped on it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Should
that
make you
was pretty exciting.
pancakes.
Should make me pancakes tomorrow morning.
Oh, nice. That's what I would say. That's a decent trade-off. I got your shiny
So
Charmander pancakes are in my future.
Uh, so okay, this fish that you caught, was it a real carp or was it a koi fish or
No, this
like
was yeah,
what
this
was it?
is it was a real carp. Um,
It was a real carp. Okay, just a wild normal carp.
I
That'll be
don't
fine.
know my specifics like red horse
Hmm.
maybe. I don't know.
No, I actually know nothing about carps. I just know they're kind of
Yeah,
goldish in color for the most part around
nah,
this area,
red.
but they're not red,
They're like a dark,
but like a
deep
red
brownish
yellow.
red.
Yeah, okay. Yes, I agree with that. I would
Yeah,
yeah. Okay.
but yeah,
Dark
that
deep brownish red.
story for next time. That carp was the weirdest one, or one of the weirdest ones, because it never stopped pulling. So I was just like, I don't know what I got. And the other one, we'll tell this story a different time because I don't think we have time to get into the next one.
Nope.
But my other weirdest catch was I snagged a it had to have been about a 30-pound snapping turtle in the claw with a top water musky bait.
Oh shit. No way, man. We're
Yeah,
going to get into turtles later because
yeah.
I have a not a thing for turtles, but like just weird food. If, follow me at Josh
Ooh,
Labaugh on Instagram. I do
yeah.
weird food stuff there. But seriously, weird food. Turtle. I had turtle once, and I listened to many stories because my parents and uncles and those are my parents too. My uncles and aunts are they're from the 70s, and I heard so many stories about them just catching turtle and making turtle soup and shit like that. And I'm like, what? That's a real fucking thing. Had
Yeah.
turtle for my first, like I had my own turtle. It was a farm turtle or whatever. Not not farm, but it got all cleaned up and shit for me. I didn't have to do it. That thing was gritty and gross and whatever. But we'll talk about turtles. I'll take that note right now.
Yeah,
Before,
we'll talk about turtles
yeah,
for sure because I'm a big fan of turtles also in the form of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage. I don't know how much of that song I can sing without getting in trouble, but
you won't. No,
liked
you won't. It's
T.
fine. It's because it's a interpretation.
I like the TMNT. I was a big fan as a child. That kind of leads into the next one. Like I know we're talking about childhood movies, but big time Ninja Turtles. Like before I could even talk properly, because I used to be like
Mm-hmm.
Ninja Turtles, just a bunch of noises and then turtles.
just just a bunch of noises.
Yeah.
You just like start humming the song to tell your parents you wanted to watch the turtles.
Yes, sir. Like me and my dad would.
Oh boy.
My parents are different religions, and my mom always wanted to go to church, and I was young and not somebody you should bring into church because little people in churches are crazy. Don't do that. That's crazy. But but I would Sunday morning cartoons. Me and my dad would watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles when my mom went to church. That was a good trade-off.
Mm-hmm.
I still do that to
Mm-hmm.
this day. I would gladly watch even new Turtles, even though
Dude,
I
I've
prefer the
heard they've
old
never
stuff.
lost a step in what they do. Like
Really?
the new ones, yeah, dude. I heard that they're just been good. Like
I just don't like the
all
way
of
they
them.
look as much. Like, dude, the old Turtles were
Oh, the new look for sure. Like
jacked.
the very newest one right
Yeah.
now in 2020, or that's from 2018 or whenever they started that. It's
Yeah.
definitely a weird look, but I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
I don't hate it. I just like the old school, just jacked turtles. Like, ugh, like built like real
Jacked.
people. Now they're blocky and they got Popeye forearms.
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
It's whatever.
Yeah. All right. So before we get into topic two, which is going to be childhood movies, however you want to interpret that topic, we will. But before we do that, I just want to say, don't release your pets, even those koi fish from your pond in the backyard, even your 98-cent fucking goldfish from Walmart. Don't let them go in the wild alive. They turn into a nuisance.
They get
Carver,
real big too.
dude,
Like
they get big. They cause problems.
when you're,
Like I said, dude, the koi fish get even bigger. And this
that's
is
what I'm
one thing
talking
that I
about.
took from this is, yeah, the koi fish. So those are Japanese. Goldfish are Prussian. So they're not the same
Mhm.
fish, which I think people get confused a little bit. But like catfish, they got those barbs by their mouth.
Yeah.
That's how you know it's a koi fish. That's a koi fish for sure. And but no matter what you think, they're they're carps, and they
So
fuck shit up around here.
wait
So
a
don't
minute,
let
like
your goddamn pets go, man. Dude,
there's
hold on
so many
before.
species of goldfish though. There's got
Yeah, for sure. But like, you know, I'm not talking about like bug eye goldfish because I'm telling you. So
dude,
the
that's the
Carver
kind that
County
I'm
Water
talking about that
Management
Shannon's
Organization.
real quick. That's the kind I'm talking
Yeah,
about
no,
that
no, go ahead.
Shannon's uncle caught.
He caught the bug-eyed
The
motherfuckers.
bug-eyed big, like actual, like gold,
Dude,
like shiny
no
yellow
way.
goldfish that was like almost 2 pounds. I
God
thought that's what
damn.
we were
No,
talking
I'm oh,
about.
okay. No, that's a goldfish too. And these gold, like the goldfish you get at the 97-cent goldfish,
Yep, yep.
that's super bright orange, or you get it from like the county
The
fair
fair,
at
dude.
the little,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so that's a goldfish too. And those things, they also come really gold.
Yes.
Like, yeah, they're gold. This is what I was thinking about a carps too, is they're gold. They're not just orange. You can see orange, but those are actually like technically the defect, because when I saw this photo, because the Carver County Water Management Organization
Mhm.
uh, documented some of what they were doing in these problem areas here in Chaska,
Yeah.
and you could see these speckles of orange, and the one they had in their hand was pretty gold. You could see some gold in the bin they had behind them where they were destroying the fish. And what was the craziest thing is uh, fish these fish that we put in bowls or tanks or whatever you want to say, they're the defect, dude. You should see, if you just look close enough, the swarm of camouflaged ones, for lack of a better word, like the dark, deep brown, damn near black fish that
Mhm.
are swarming underneath these like 8 specks of orange. Those are the problem. That's the problem. There's like 1,000 fish in there, and I'm not exaggerating, because they removed 2,000 from this little lake in the north part of Chaska.
Jeez.
Yeah, they removed 2,000 of these fish, and so there's thousands of these fish swarming, and there's like 15 orange specks. Because if you just look past the orange specks, they're damn near the bottom of this little pond slash like slow part of the river that they were in,
Yeah.
because they're just this dark brown black, like they're the camouflage natural color, because that's what they're supposed to be. But because we're humans and we just breed whatever we want to have as pets, we just keep the colorful ones.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
It's fucking crazy,
so
dude.
I wonder if that's what they did to Lake George, because Lake George is a lake that's here in St. Cloud, where I live,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yep.
it is a small man-made lake right in the middle of the city, and they stock it with stuff, but it had koi in it before. I haven't seen koi for
Mm.
a couple of years, but I have seen a lot of crappies and sunfish and stuff spawning,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't see the koi anymore.
Do you think
And
they went and took them out, or what?
it could be that, or there's the hunters, which I don't know if that's even legal. Like one time I was walking around and I'm fishing, and there's a dude that comes in there with one of those bow fishing setups,
Oh yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
he's like, I'm like, ugh. And I walked up and I started talking to him because I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
are koi rough fish? I said they're basically carp.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose you can shoot them. And he's like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
dude, they're rough fish.
Yep.
And then my second question was like, hey, not trying to be a dick. Like I don't give a shit what you do, but is this legal? And he's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I don't know. I'm like, well, that. I was like, that might be something you want to look into, because I'm
That
like,
might be something. Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure you could probably take these with a boat if they are considered rough fish, which I would think they are, because they are
Mm-hmm.
basically
Mm-hmm.
carp, just like anything else. Like
Mm-hmm.
the ones in
Mm-hmm.
Lake George, like some of those fuckers got to like 10 pounds. Like you could see
Oh
they
my
were big
god.
koi, but they were
That's a
those,
fucking
yeah,
huge fish,
but they
dude.
were those red and white ones. So you
Yeah.
knew that they were koi and they're swimming around and stuff. But the
Yep.
thing I told him was like, dude, like, I know you're trying to fish, but it's illegal to discharge a firearm or a bow within city limits. Like, I know you're shooting it
Mm-hmm.
into the water, but you might want to
Right.
go check
Might want
this
to look
out
into
before
that a
you
little
start
further.
shooting. Yeah. Yeah, before you go shooting your bow in
Right.
the middle of the city where there's all these people, like, I get what you're trying
Right.
to do,
Yeah.
but like I know you're shooting into the water, but you aim up another 3 feet, the other side of the lake is getting fucked up.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah. No, that's a really good point. They, as everything I looked up is yes, they are considered rough fish. Yes, they are considered rough fish. Yes, they can be fished like carp, and I know carp can be bow fished. I know for sure that um, because carp are bowfish, so are bowfish.
rough fish.
That carp are rough fish,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and can be bow hunted basically.
Yeah.
Uh, so everything that I saw about it, but you make a really good point of like, hey, you're inside city limits, and even a pellet gun is
Right.
technically illegal to discharge
Yeah.
inside city limits. So be careful on that. And that is, it's so weird because that is the kind of gray area America's in with rough, not with rough fish, with invasive species in general. I think we see it here in the water. It's in the water here where I see it, but I also follow wild pigs a decent amount, which I really want to do uh, hunting wild boars too. But
Yeah.
anyways, the point being is, uh, you know, our mutual friend Tony Young, he basically hunts wild lionfish in Florida because in Florida they're invasive, and
Yeah.
he hunts them with no regard. Like it doesn't matter. It doesn't. He just goes out and gets them. Like they have a derby to see who can get the most and
Yeah, they
stuff like
have like
that.
those
So.
gophers. It's not even a matter of like shooting them or anything. They just have like I don't know what they're called. I refer to them as like gophers. You know those like that that long arm with the trigger so you can reach the cans on the top
Mm-hmm.
shelf and go, yeah, go get it, gopher.
Mm-hmm.
But
Even from your scooter, you can still
yeah,
reach the top shelf.
you can reach the top shelf from your scooter. But why you put it on the top shelf is beyond me. But whatever. But uh,
Do your thing.
to do it, that's the only room you got to put those Cheerios on, I guess. Anyways, uh, they had yeah, they go out there and he wears his GoPro sometimes and goes underneath the water and just like snatches those things up with a looks like a little claw and just and they're
Or
just
just
like
yeah.
dead instantly and just snatches them up and then
Mm-hmm.
like they're
Yeah.
invasive so they're just like yeah just kill them dude just take them all out.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And that's why I'm pretty sure everything that I've looked up is accurate to the koi fish and goldfish, and with the fact that this water management organization here, just removed 2,000 of them. Just
Yeah.
hey, we could have destroyed all 2,000 of these animals. They are a nuisance to our water system and causing issues. And that point that you made still doesn't. I mean, still super relevant. The fact that firearms, bows, all that stuff, inside city limits, but yeah, that's why I say it's like it feels like it's a little bit of a gray area that we're really being able to track invasive species so well now, or we're putting more time and money into it. It's a weird thing, but it's cool, and I think raises an opportunity for us if we can figure out how to go fishing for them. That's an episode to me.
Oh yeah,
Doesn't
for
matter
sure.
if we don't have to eat everything that we catch, even though we are very much about eating the stuff we catch. We don't have to
Yeah.
eat everything.
No, you don't have to eat everything, but you want to eat some of that stuff. That's
Because
part
I
of the
mean,
fun. It's like when you're
mm-hmm,
like with the walleyes, they're a little bit harder to catch. When you get a couple in the boat and you can go have a fish fry, that's just like a victory. Like yes. Plus, it's
yes,
providing for your family and for me. Like even in these weird times of COVID and stuff, like I hear a lot of people
mm-hmm,
picking up hunting right now because they're just like,
oh
oh,
yeah,
the food chain and stuff. If this goes down, what do we
mm-hmm,
do? And it's just like,
yep,
yeah, I mean, I'm not a real big hunter. I have guns. I I shouldn't even say I'm not a real big hunter. I'm not a hunter. I would like to
Mm-hmm.
hunt, but I
Mm-hmm.
never do. I
Mm-hmm.
have guns with intentions to hunt. I have not yet, just because
Mm-hmm.
I live in the middle of a big city and it's not
Mm-hmm.
real feasible to do. But like fishing, we have
Mm-hmm.
bodies of water everywhere, and if worse got to worse, I know I can go out there and catch supper in a moment's notice. Like even on a
Oh
rough
yeah,
day,
for sure.
I can go and put some sunfish in the boat. Like it won't be that hard. But if you're looking to feed a decent amount of people, like I can go out there and catch my limit of bass pretty quick on a
Yeah,
good day.
dude, you could feed your 3-person family in a night, no problem.
Yeah, and it's not. I mean,
Even while still working a full-time
yeah.
job, I bet.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
I mean, not to say that that's not a brag. That's not a brag. That's not to be like, Tib, you're such a fucking good fisherman. No, what I'm
yeah,
saying is like a 3-person family, you're a good enough fisherman to be able to feed your family every night after working 8 hours. If it really fucking came down to the, like, we need to get protein out of this body of water, you could go do it.
yeah. I could do it on like. I mean, if it once the sun goes down, I don't not real familiar with how you should fish a river. I haven't done a lot of that stuff because I mean, I suppose I could now, uh,
Hmm.
being earlier spring and stuff. But when the sun goes down,
Right.
and
Yeah.
like in the summertime, get away from that body of water because you are about to get ate by mosquitoes, bro. You gotta get out of there.
You got to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, unless you got like some sort of a suit to make it happen, or you're covered in bug spray
Right.
heavy
Yeah.
because
Okay.
it's gonna be bad.
You're right. I was exaggerating a bit, but I mean,
But no,
like if you
no,
went out, if
yeah,
you took
no,
all day Saturday, right? Like if you had to go fish for your family, you took it all day Saturday. Shit, you could put enough fish on in the freezer to last you a whole week, and then just go do it
oh,
again
for
on
sure,
Saturday. Like
yeah,
that's kind of the shit I'm talking about.
yeah. If you give me a full day, like I mean, it depends on the day. Obviously, there's cold fronts and stuff, and you could have a rough day
Sure,
where
sure,
you're only
sure.
catching a couple.
Average, you
Yeah,
could do it.
on an average day, I could catch a lot. On a well, and I think it all average itself out if I had access to a freezer still and I could just keep the fish. On a good day, hitting them on the good times when the fish came and stuff. Like on a
Yeah.
real good day, I could catch my limit of bass in half hour,
Holy shit.
maybe faster. I mean,
Go out before work.
I shouldn't even say maybe faster. There was one time I don't keep anything on the Mississippi, and um, you're not supposed to keep any smallmouth anyways. But I mean, if worse came to worse and everybody was starving, screw your rules. I'm getting my food.
Yeah.
But
Uh huh.
um, when I was fishing the Mississippi one day, and I don't know if it was. I pay attention to the moon phase calendar and everything else, but I was going during the peak fishing times. I no joke caught a smallmouth every cast for like 18 casts straight,
Damn.
which is my limit, like more
Three,
than
four
three
times.
times over. So,
Right.
and it's like,
That's crazy.
that's enough fish to feed everybody.
Yup. And at the 50 mark of our 1 hour podcast, we're going to go to topic two.
Yeah.
We're only 50 minutes into our 1 hour podcast, and we're going to go to topic two, our favorite childhood movies. We're just, we'll interpret that, but it's, I want to stick to favorites. I don't want to get down to shit road. So, Tim, hit the beatbox. Let's go. Break time.
The old school, like in breath beatboxing. Break time. That's so fucking stupid. Break time. Break.
And we're back. It's the Real AF TV podcast. I'm not going to do the whole spiel right now because we are just back from break and we are going to talk about our random take. Oh, shit. I just rhymed. I did not mean to do that, but hey,
Hey,
that's what the booze will do for you. You know what I mean?
booze or doos.
We're gonna talk about childhood movies. I need to say one of the main reasons why I brought this up is because I have Toy Story memorabilia all around me, and I was wearing a Toy Story shirt when I wrote this. So, yeah, Toy Story is totally on my list. But the other day, I was upstairs at my computer, was working on some shit, came down, and my wife had Ace Ventura because Ace Ventura just dropped on Netflix again. As
Oh,
far as I know, it just dropped again. But fucking A, dude, it just reminded me how much I seriously like have become Ace Ventura. not not like literally because that guy's kind of totally a crazy person, but like fucking A, the amount of humor that I got out of that show is absolutely crazy. And at the time when I was watching it, I did not realize that that was the guy from In Living Color because I was such a little kid. I was watching tons of In Living Color, and I did not know that was
in
Fire Marshal
living
Bill.
color.
Yeah. Did you watch In Living Color?
Yeah. Not like I I don't know how I got a chance to watch it. I don't know if it was like on the WB later in life. Like I didn't have
Yeah.
cable until late in life, but I think they started like
Mm,
playing replays on the WB or something.
I don't know. I thought it was always on the WB because I never well, I don't necessarily remember tuning into a cable channel for that. I thought it was regular TV.
I don't
Maybe.
remember, man.
No, I don't either. I just know I used to watch In Living Color. I remember Damon Wayans and Jamie Foxx and all those motherfuckers. When they started to come up, I started to go like, "Hey, I recognize this guy, but why do I recognize it?" And I don't remember recognizing Jim Carrey because he just, I don't know, for some reason I just didn't. It just didn't sink in the same way that Damon Wayans and stuff like Major Payne. As soon as I saw Major Payne's like trailer, I was like, "Hey, I think I know who that guy is." And in the end, I never really put it all together until I was like a late teenager and started to go like, "Oh shit, all those guys came from In Living Color."
Hmm.
That's fucking crazy because it still happens to me today where I'm like, "How do I recognize that person? They seem so familiar. Why does everybody in the new Ghostbusters movie look the same?" Oh, all them chicks are from SNL. Oh, yeah, there it is. Now I got it. Like I don't make those connections super great, but I recognize their faces
Mm.
and kind of their mannerisms too, because you become the characters eventually.
Right, right,
But
right.
but seriously, Ace Ventura, dude, fucking A. It changed the humor. Like it just changed my humor altogether. I just don't even know what year that was. It doesn't matter. It was just like, holy shit, I can recite that movie line for line basically.
Yeah,
And it's just so goddamn funny to me and so much of how I still find shit funny today.
yeah. I Ace Ventura was a big one for me. I mean, it wasn't huge. It didn't. I don't think it was as big for me as it was for you. Like
Mhm.
it was funny, but it was so like over the top that I looked at it like, oh, that
Mm.
Jim Carrey's a funny dude. Like, but it wasn't anything that really inspired me, I guess, to be who I am.
Mhm. Mhm.
But like my real, I mean, when you're talking, you know, real little kid, it was a lot of cartoons and stuff. And
Mhm.
but when we got later into life, where I started like stuff started influencing my personality, there's two different movies that I watch like crazy, and I already made reference to one of them is Half Baked. Dave Chappelle is a genius, and that movie just spoke to
Mhm.
me. Everything about it. Just like it started up, and like at that time, all those kids, like they get that joint for the first time, they smoke it, and they walk into that grocery store, and he's just
I have an Abba sitting in my fucking pantry right now, dude.
nice. Yes, Abba Zaba, you my only
You're my
friend.
only friend.
But he goes and eats that Abba Zaba in the thing, and then there's just like, where's Brian? Isn't it? I can't even remember their names. I thought it was Brian. No, Kenny. Where's Kenny?
Kenny. Yeah,
Where's
Kenny.
Kenny? And
Yep.
he's in like the slushy machine. He just
He's in the
pops out.
slushy
I've
machine.
never been so thirsty in my entire life.
Tell
And
your life.
and then, now he's making now he's making TV shows for my kid, Carlin
Yeah.
Williams.
Right, I know.
It's
Yes,
so
that's
dope.
exactly the reference we made before.
Hmm.
That was in an early episode.
But that whole, like, I can quote so many lines from that movie, but there's just so much good funny stuff in that movie. Just the like, I mean, we like, I know you grew up in a different school to start, but I grew up in a town where it was like majority white people. Like, there
Mm-hmm.
wasn't a lot of different cultures going on. Like, we grew up in a white farm town, and then you get
Mm-hmm.
these, like, you start seeing through the media like different cultures, and you got
Mm-hmm.
like these city dudes, and just to see like everybody's different interactions, and you got
Mm-hmm.
the scientists like, hey, janitor, would you mind going and getting this for me? And he's like, yeah, scientist, hey, well, I'm gone, would you mind to clean the rest of this shit up?
I quote that line all the time and people don't get it, or like I'll even off quote it, is because as an IT professional, people will come in and be like, hey, my printer's not working. Can you come fix it for me? Or
Right,
they'll
right.
make like or let's just say, because this is a real example. So like the company I work at, sometimes they need help out on the production floor, and
Hmm.
they'll be like, hey, can you come help me put these towels in this box? And I'll be like, yeah. Say, janitor, I know this ain't your job, but and I'll say janitor. They're not a janitor. They're someone from the packing department that needs fucking help
Right,
because they
right.
got to ship this order today.
Yeah,
And I'll make that reference, and they just look at me like, what the fuck are you talking about, man? I'm like, where did
right,
these people grow up?
right.
Did nobody watch Half Baked? It's a fucking goddamn comedy classic. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, you don't know what's going on here. Just like,
It's like, I'm
oh
making
my,
a goddamn joke. Yeah, I'll come help you pack the
yeah,
towels. Like, my shit is
dude,
not going to fucking make this order not ship. Like,
right.
let's go.
I've had stuff in my life where, like, even in serious moments where I'm laughing about that movie to myself in my head, where like somebody's asking me if you did something or whatever, and like you tell them yes, and then they're just like, you swear, and I'm like, I swear, and then in my head, that you have pretty eyes. Because the scene where like the whole movie's been about how he gets high all the time, and Mary Jane is like, do you smoke weed? And he's like, what, me? No. And she's like, do you
No.
swear? And he's like, I swear that you have pretty eyes. In his own
Mhm.
head they show it. Okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
Oh,
Because he's been doing that inner dialogue the whole time. Like,
yeah,
he's doing a dialogue the whole time.
yeah, dude, and all the characters in
Oh,
there. You got Brian, the super stoner, like, just the, the,
fuck you. Fuck you. You're cool.
the
Fuck you. I'm
I'm
out, the
out.
angry guy.
Yeah, that's uh oh man, what is his name?
Fuck. I
Now I'm
can't
trying to
remember his
think of that
name.
name.
Yeah,
And
what is his
who
name?
he
Because
calls
we
him
know
he calls him
he's the one who ends up
Julio.
getting the dog.
His name is Julio, but they call him Scarface.
Scarface. Yeah, 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 yeah. Because he
Cause
goes, Scarface got a
yeah,
dog, yo.
cause you got oh, Scarface got a dog, yo, and cause you got that dude that's at the burger joint. Hey, hey, waffle with cheese, Julio.
That's right. That's
And
right.
he's just like, yo, I'm right here, B. You want a waffle with cheese? Just turn
Turn
around
around,
and ask
ask
me
me.
if waffle with cheese. God, why you always gotta be fucking with me on the grill, yo? then he just gets mad. He finally just has enough with it that day. Throws that burger
and
patty in
just
that
leaves.
kid's face. Bah!
That close up, right?
Right, yeah. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool. Fuck
You're
you, I'm
cool.
out. Bah! Hits that kid right in the face with the burger patty. Oh, jeez.
Oh, so many good. You're right.
So,
That
dude, that
I overlooked that as far as like influence on the way I look at comedy because fuck, I don't even know who wrote it. Was Dave Chappelle a writer on that movie or was
yeah,
that just like
that's
his
his.
big he was?
Yeah, that's his movie.
Oh, okay. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
I mean, it just all starts to connect the dots. He's fucking so funny. Even his new next Netflix special. As much as the internet gives him shit, you know what? Fuck you guys. I laugh my fucking ass off every time I watch all of them shits that he's put out on
yeah.
Netflix.
I haven't seen the new stuff, but I'm just like just when you have all the like it's such genius writing. Like there's so many funny parts that just go
Oh,
unnoticed.
dude.
Like if you haven't seen that movie in a while, go back and watch it. Like they have the
I think
moment.
I'm going to this weekend,
Yeah,
seriously.
they have the moment where he goes to meet uh Samson and they have the drug and they're about
Mhm.
to go and meet
Mhm.
him and first off he tells Scarface like, "Hey, you gotta be Jamaican or whatever," and he's like, "Why? Why does Samson think I'm Jamaican?" He's like, "Cause I told him you were Jamaican over the phone, yo." He's just like, "Why would you do
Why
that?"
would you
He's
do
just like,
that?
I don't know, Mr. Nice Guy just always seemed Jamaican to me, yo. It's just like. Mr. Nice Guy is like nobody, and you're just making up that he's Jamaican. So then Dave Chappelle puts on the wig, and he goes in
Puts
there,
on that wig.
and he goes in there and he's just like, I'm from Jamaica. And he just goes, what part of Jamaica? He's like, right near the
Right
beach.
near the beach, boy.
Boy. And then he and then the dude just
Has
does
no fucking clue about Jamaica. He's
he
just a kid who grew up in New York.
he doesn't believe him. So so Samson pulls out like he goes from his character. His Dave Chappelle goes from his Jamaican character to just like terrified when he pulls out the Samson pulls
When
out
he
the
pulls a
crossbow,
gun
bro.
on him.
He
Oh,
pulls a
crossbow.
crossbow.
Right, right, right.
And he pulls out
Yeah.
the crossbow, and Dave Chappelle just goes, "Oh, I don't want to be the first N-word."
Oh,
He goes, "I don't want to be the first N-word to die from a crossbow."
that's right. That's right. He does. And he just cowers back right away, like, oh, I just,
he loses his whole like he just falls
yeah,
into
no.
the guy. I don't remember who's standing next
The
to
guy
him.
that he actually, oh, yeah, yeah, no, because he steps back, like, oh
Yeah.
shit, like, yeah.
And then they
He
get in the
turns into the kid
yeah,
from New York, like just the dude who likes to get high, do his
right.
job, go home, get high again.
Yeah.
I'm just a dude from New York, and he just falls right back into that, even though he's like trying to be this hard ass dude
Right.
from Jamaica. It's the
And
best.
then they get into this big old fight and like Scarface has
Oh
like
shit, your titty
nunchuck.
popped out.
Yeah, Scarface has nunchucks. Dave reaches into the, the little fish tank, whips a piranha, takes a piranha out, and chucks at a chick, and bites her in the neck. She just goes ah, and then
Dude, that is definitely a reference to some old kung fu movies
right,
for
right.
sure.
Oh shit, your titty pop out,
The
and then
whole fucking building
and then
stops fighting. Like
everybody stops
everybody's
fighting.
fighting, and they just
And,
stop and go, "Oh, titty."
yeah, well, everybody stops fighting, and then you got Brian, that super stoner, just goes, fully, man. Oh, jeez.
Oh my god. That's not a good transition to Toy Story, so I'm not gonna make it.
Right. And the whole
But it is a good. Oh, go ahead. Go
the,
ahead. Go
the
ahead.
whole part where they're setting them up too is so funny. Where they're just right after he says that he doesn't want to die, he just stands up and like, "Yo, Samson, I'm sorry. I I didn't. I'm not trying to offend you." And he's just like, "We just want to buy some weed." He goes, "Okay." And he's like, "All right, can we buy some cocaine too, or whatever?" He's like, I can't remember if he asked for cocaine and then heroin, but he's like, "Yeah," and then you just like throwing bricks at him, and they're just high fiving. All right. because they're setting them up with a wire, and then they cut
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
the dudes that are supposed to be like backing them up, and they're just baked out of their minds in
They're
the van,
baked because they had to.
and they're
Well, if we
laughing.
go in there not high, they'll think something's up. We got to get high before we go in there.
Right, right.
That's how it all starts.
I can't remember exactly
That's
how
good
it
writing.
goes, but I remember that there's a joke where they get real quiet and then they just bust out laughing again. Oh man,
Oh yeah, no, I don't know either, but that is classic because yeah, the callback joke to the like
dude,
them getting
just
high in the
like
van and then it's getting trapped in the van and it's a hot box and then the cops are high. So abracadabra, yo,
right.
yo, abracadabra.
I'm just thinking about everything in that movie right now. Just like so many good parts. Like when, like before that whole thing set up, they were gonna frame Samson because they got in trouble because they were going to steal weed from the place that Thurgood worked. Dave
Uh-huh.
Chappelle's character, and
Yeah.
when they were there, they're like going down the ladder, and when they get to the bottom of the ladder after they go to break in, there's cops there, and for some reason, like Scarface has his face painted, and both of the guys are
Oh my god.
like
Mhm. Mhm.
Thurgood's there, just like oh
Mhm.
no, and like starts getting down, and Scarface starts miming and he has his face painted for some reason. Like,
Mhm.
what's it?
Yep.
And then all of a sudden you hear like Brian just falls. You just hear, uh, and he just pops up like, whoa, oh man, and sees the
Because
cops.
Scarface goes, at least Brian got away, yo.
Right, at least Brian got away, yo. Uh,
Also, okay, so this is my segue. I'm gonna take it. So that his face painting, that's a reference to a Queen Latifah movie.
mm,
Yeah, and fuck, man, I just forgot it. It's like, or maybe it's not Queen. No, that Queen. I'm getting that messed up because that's Queen. Uh, yeah. Okay, so his face paint, I'm pretty goddamn sure is a reference to the movie Dead Presidents,
mm, okay.
and it's not the Queen Latifah movie that I was talking about because I think, God damn it, I had it there for a second, but I've been drinking for a minute, so I definitely forgot it. But that's a really good movie too because that's about like three or four chicks that get after it and they start bankrupt. But that's a good movie. I'm stopping. That face paint, dude. That's a reference. That's a reference to Dead Presidents, the movie. I'm sure of it. Definitely an inappropriate movie for a child to be watching it, but
Mm, yeah.
we did a lot of that as a kid.
A lot
I
of
was
it,
a
dude.
little
I
bit of
was,
an unfettered child, or like an unmonitored child. But
yeah,
yeah, 1995, Dead Presidents. It's the white face with the black around the eyes. It was very much a violent crime based movie, and that's what that's a reference to in Half Baked. 100%, that's what a reference to. And I knew that when Half Baked come out, which meant I was
yeah.
watching shit I shouldn't have been watching when I was a kid. Our family used to watch a lot of fucking horror movies, which I know you do
Mm,
now, but
yeah.
this is my question now. This is where I'm going with all this is at what point do you just go, "Oh, what up, Beckett? Oh, I'm just over here having a whiskey, watching Half Baked. Oh, it's a movie from 40 years ago, 30 years ago.
Right.
It's super funny. It transformed the way that I laugh at things. You want to watch it with me?"
Yeah.
Is that 6 years old? Is that 5 years old? Is that 18 as recommended by the movie rating people who rate movies? I have no fucking idea what they're called.
Well, I think the real
What do you
answer.
feel about that right now?
I think the real answer is gonna be it all depends on when me and him get a chance
Smoke
to
weed for the first time.
smoke weed. Right, right. No, when me and him get a chance to watch a movie and his mom's not around, because she's gonna be
Dude,
the
I
one
don't know
like
about you.
he can't watch this, and it'd just be like he knows not to say these words. Like he's gonna say these words with his friends. Like I
Mm-hmm.
was this
Mm-hmm.
kid. Like I was raised
Yeah.
a
Oh
little bit
yeah.
differently because my parents are definitely not me. They don't say bad words. I mean, my dad
Mm-hmm.
does, but it's different. My mom doesn't say bad words. I very, very rarely seen him drink anything. It like we definitely live different lives because um we don't need to get into my whole past, but it would take me a lot less time to tell you the drugs I haven't done. So,
Right.
uh, it, we're different people. I'm
But
not,
you're just different people. Yeah,
and I want to
it's
make
not
it
that they
clear that
raised you poorly or
yeah,
anything like that. It was just like
right.
shit, curiosity,
I was just a
Fuck.
curious kid, and like I want to make it clear that I'm not a druggie. I don't do that stuff anymore. I drink, obviously. That's what I'm doing right now, but
That's what we're doing right
uh,
now. Mhm.
like that was just a small town, nothing else to do. People would be like, "Hey, I got
Yeah.
this. Do you want to do it?" Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
got
yeah. I
anything
mean,
else to do.
that's just the honest truth though. It's just like there's
Yep.
curiosity. That's it.
Mhm.
And again, curiosity is how
Yeah.
you get to the point where we are like that's what
Right.
makes you investigate so much about fishing, and that's what makes you just like look at shit. It's not like watching Half Baked was the reason why you fucking dropped acid for the first time.
Right.
It was strict curiosity. It's like that was just the way it happened. And I just told my wife this afternoon. I was like, oh, by the way, me and Tim are recording tonight. Like the Real AF TV podcast is happening tonight. I don't know what time we're going to shoot for this and this, but I just want to let you know. Doesn't matter because you're never going to fucking listen to it anyway. So, and I just want to let you know I'm going to be making some noise 2 rooms over while you're sleeping, and I hope it doesn't bother you. And that's exactly it. It depends on whenever wife's not around and me and him are just sitting there, and I
Yep.
put on Half Baked.
Yeah.
She ain't gonna listen to this podcast anyway.
Right. But yeah, dude, when it comes to that kind of stuff, like the funny stuff, like I don't know, like as soon as he's old enough to comprehend it, like if he thinks he's gonna be funny, like I mean, I'm not trying to watch that movie with him like when he's 8 or something, but when he's
Yeah, you're not like gonna do it on purpose,
yeah,
right?
like if
I
if
understand.
he
Yeah,
starts, I heard about this Half Baked movie. Like, you want to watch that? Like, yeah, I thought it would be funny. Like, dude, all right, let's do this thing. But
let's
like,
go.
but when it comes to the horror movies, that's a different story because I don't want him
Yeah.
getting into those early like I did, because those wrecked me for a little bit. Like I like them now, but
Really, I'm surprised to hear they wrecked you because you are so into them now. Because if you
yeah,
see in the notes, and you see in the notes of the show, I put down "fuck Chucky."
yeah, I
Fuck
saw that,
Chucky, man. My
dude.
motherfucking my little sister and the little cousins were watching that shit, and no, fuck that, fuck Chucky. So yeah, you need to go into your part because no way,
Yeah.
man, not for me.
So,
Uh-uh.
dude, Chucky has such a different vibe to it. Like, there's different movies that are scary, and now when you watch them, like Chucky is bad, but it's not a good movie. The graphics, he looks like shit. But when I was when I was younger, it's probably because how I was introduced to it too. But there was another kid who was allowed to watch scary stuff with his parents, and like I said,
Mhm.
I didn't even have cable.
With
So
his parents, he was allowed to watch it with his parents.
his parents were cool with it. Like me, him, and his dad watched Tales from the Crypt later that night.
Oh, I got some
Yeah.
Tales from the Crypt stories, but that was
So
the thing is they would just leave the movies out for us. They'd just be like, watch whatever movie you want, and those motherfuckers would pick out like it, and they'd pick out Killer Clowns from Outer Space and motherfucking
the Killer
Chucky.
Clowns from Outer Space wasn't scary. That was the dumbest movie I ever seen. Ugh.
That shit freaked me out, man. I would not watch that. I still
Really?
probably have no idea what the fuck's going on that movie.
Dude,
Nope, I wouldn't watch it.
I remember even
Ugh.
as a kid watching it, it was the dumbest thing I ever saw. They encased them in cotton candy, and then they like just sucked out the juice. It was just like, this is the dumbest movie. I can't believe this has a cult following. God, this is
Oh
terrible.
yeah, dude.
But I remember, so like, I don't think I had ever even seen. I mean, in except for like bad acting on like uh Walker Texas Ranger, like people
Nice.
die where you don't know for sure that they died. They got shot and now they're laying on the ground, but you don't
Mm-hmm.
know if they're
Yeah.
dead. I don't even
Right.
know if I saw people die. And that night I went over to his house, and he lived in a weird ass house. His parents had money, and it was like
Okay.
this new age, like modern, like there was like three different spots. There was a fish tank. Everything was like white and black, and it was open, and like nothing was
It was 90s modern.
nothing was warm. It felt very just
Yeah,
kind of
90s modern. Cold.
yeah,
It was a
yeah,
little
like
chilly.
I like warm. I like earth tones. Everything was white and black, and you're just like, ugh, I don't like the way this house feels.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
already felt like I was out of place. Like I said, they had money. Like
Mm-hmm.
they, me and him went to his house in the dad's car, and it was a Mercedes. And I remember telling
Mm-hmm.
him like, this has so many buttons. Like I was just all about like,
Uh-huh.
God damn, look at how many buttons this car
Look at
has.
how many buttons. Wait, is this got power windows? Holy
Right?
shit.
Yes, it was crazy. But
Yeah.
um, so we get there and we're doing all this stuff and we're just playing around and stuff. But the whole like he was a little bit different kid, and the house was different, and I'm already getting this weird vibe. And we watched all three Child's Play movies back to back.
What
So
the
yeah,
fuck?
I watched like 4 to 4.5 hours of this doll murdering,
What
dying,
the
coming back
fuck?
to life,
Yeah.
murdering, dying, coming back to life. Like he's unstoppable and he's gonna kill everybody you know.
What the
And
fuck,
and
dude?
then like I'm already freaked out and we go out to like play, and like I can't, like he lived kind of on the outskirts of town, and there's like woods
Oh,
and stuff, and I can't, like,
no.
even in the middle of the day I can't stop looking towards the woods. Like I'm just paranoid as hell. And then we go back in to watch the Tales from the Crypt, and
Oh my
I
god.
remember like watching that show, and it was some episode where I'm trying to follow along, but I'm so creeped out that I can't pay attention to what's going on. And they had like in the story, like it was like this trailer house, and it had this pantry, and it was just like a shower curtain almost covering the pantry, and the guy pulls it back, and it's just like a full, like uh God damn it, where you put your cans and stuff? What's that word? Why can't I think of it?
A
Uh,
pantry.
a pantry. Yes, it's like a full pantry. Did I already say pantry? It's like a
Yeah.
full. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. It's like a full pantry full of severed heads, and
Oh my
dude, and it
god.
was like just it was the severed head of the guy that was in the story for the whole thing,
Right.
and
Yep.
that like,
That's how they always got you.
dude, I literally like lost my shit. I could not sleep. I was like, it was like
Oh my god.
borderline panic attack. Like I don't remember it real well, but I know I was just
Mm-hmm.
freaking
Mm-hmm.
out, and I literally told them like I need to go home. And like it was like 12 o'clock at night, and they called my parents, and they came and got me, and they brought me home, and then I slept on their floor. And I remember I had a yellow uh Walkman, and it had,
Oh hell yeah.
yeah, and it had some sort, I think it was like the Ninja Turtles soundtrack,
There it is.
and it just kept
Ninja
I
Turtles
played it.
saving the day again.
Yeah, I played it over and over and over, and it was like not even the best 80s music, but I was so scared shitless that I could not stop thinking about everything I saw
Oh
that day.
my god.
I think
What the fuck, dude? That is the
literally,
craziest thing. So I mean, it was damn near the same thing. These kids would just pick out the movies, and I couldn't. But I just looked away. I couldn't handle it. I would just leave. I would just be like, I'm gonna go play Nintendo or some shit like that. I can't believe that that happened to you, and you are still into this shit. Like,
I think it's
and it made me not the same shit, but like, oh my god, dude, I couldn't even look at the Crypt Keeper. I literally left the room every time that ugly motherfucker came on. I
yeah, he
am
was
not
hard to
joking
look
you.
at.
Just straight up pieced out, just gone,
Yeah.
done. No fucking way. Just from him coming on screen. I never saw the shit you saw, but I know that's how they ran that show.
Hmm.
Oh my god. What the fuck? How does that make you how I gotta know. We're gonna keep going. And I have to know how can you go through that and still love that shit today? Is it
I don't
do you
know.
like a different kind of horror today? Like is that not the same kind of thing? Like what the
Well,
hell?
I don't. I don't know. It, like I think it might have been like kind of overcoming your fears. Like
Okay.
it definitely it definitely fucked with me hard, and I didn't like any of that
Well,
stuff.
yeah, I mean,
But eventually, it was
Jesus.
like you gotta just I don't know. Maybe it was like a psychological thing too, like where it messed with me, but for some reason, like once it was gone in the back of my head, I was still like, dude, that stuff was all messed up, and now I
It
want
was
to I don't
now
know.
I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna do the opposite of what it did to me then.
Yeah, I think, and the thing is too, n- none of it scares me anymore. So I think
Mm-hmm.
that that brings a differentness to it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I like it when
No, for sure. Like
I like it when it's real
I don't even
messed
watch
up.
them like anymore. I just don't watch them. I've watched horror movies now as an adult,
Yeah,
and I just um like the remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I don't know
yeah,
exactly when that was, but I'll say like early 2000s, I think it was.
a little bit later than that.
A little bit later,
Probably
like
closer to like 2010.
closer to 2010 than it was to 2000. Sure.
Yeah.
So I watched that movie and I get it, and it's loosely based on a true story, and I think that's the part that kind of intrigues me and
Real
why I
loosely.
actually decently, yeah, real loosely, yeah, exactly. Um, and I think that's kind of the part that made me enjoy it. But I shouldn't even say enjoy it because I didn't enjoy it. I just I watched the movie and I saw what it was doing, and I just thought it was so. And I'm not saying like there aren't Ted Bundys out there because they fucking are real, and it's the hot shit right now to listen to things about serial killers. Like they're out there, they're real. It's fucked up, but the thing
Hmm.
is horror movies are not about serial killers. Horror movies are about like people with claw hands and striped sweaters that come and attack you in your dreams, and I'm just like this is ridiculous. Like I'm sorry, I just don't find entertainment in this because entertainment to me is like how did they build the new stadium for the Seahawks? It's like that is the shit that I find entertaining. So I just horror movies just never had a place. Like when I was a kid, I was fucking I would assume I was just terrified and I was like, "Ah, that's gross. I don't want to look at it." And now I'm just like,
Sure.
well, whatever. Well put together movie doesn't entertain me personally.
Yeah.
And but my sister still till this day, she just like loves all that shit. Like, do you go to like Halloween exhibits? You know, like exhibit. Yeah, I don't know if that's the right word, but like, do you go to Halloween like plays and shit where they have the barn full of scary shit that tries to freak you out? Like, do you like that shit?
No, I don't like that shit. No, I don't, because
So
that's
that's
real. I don't like
yeah.
so there's like obviously it's people acting and stuff, but one of the things like
Right.
I don't I I have a fear of the unknown. I don't
Mm-hmm.
like being out of control, and in a situation
Mm-hmm.
like that you're purposely putting yourself in, like, you got
In
all
the
the
other person's hands.
yeah, and all the actors,
Mm-hmm.
I say with quotations, but I don't like that shit because they're just like, they'll get close to you and bump you, and they'll be like, "Don't touch the actors," and you're just like, "You got too close to me, you fucker!"
You
Like,
fucking bumped into me, you
you can
asshole.
try to
Yeah, I
scare me
get you.
from a distance. You don't have to get in my like, you scream in my face.
Yeah.
Things like I might react. Like, try to do
Yeah.
it differently. Like the jumps. I That's that's one thing. Like, I think I don't like that because I don't like that in the movies either. Jump scares are cheap
Yeah.
and
Are cheap as
bullshit.
fuck.
I
Yeah,
think I
for
think
real.
I think psychological scares, when you can like really get to a where like, oh, that's chilling or that's creepy, like where you get to a part where
Mm-hmm.
like you freak me
Mm-hmm.
out, you know, but none of that sticks with me. Like, I know it's all not
And that
real.
never, as a kid, that wasn't your favorite kind of movie as a kid. That's become your favorite movie as an adult, right? Because I said at the beginning of this, I was like, I didn't want to talk about the trash, but we're not talking about trash movies. We're talking about, you know, uh, favorite movie memories. Essentially,
Yeah, yeah.
is what this has turned into, and I I don't have any kind of fondness for horror at all, and you seem not to either as a kid. Is that accurate to say? Like you just didn't find horror as a kid
Yeah, no, as
entertaining at
a
all?
I didn't like it at all as a kid.
Yeah. Even actually, and this pulls right back into actual favorite movies is Toy
Well,
Story has some
so
freaky parts, dude. Okay. Go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah, Toy Story does have some freaky parts for sure,
It does.
but as a horror movie, like when I saw that stuff first, I don't know how old I was, but
Mhm.
it didn't take me that long to start watching like Jason movies, and I was into Jason, like Friday the 13th, or yeah, Friday the 13th
Mm.
movies.
Yep.
I liked
Yep.
Jason movies.
Mm.
Those were different.
Yeah, well,
But
we definitely saw those. We definitely saw those without parental
yeah.
supervision, just open
So
VHS case.
yeah, and I don't know how much of a difference that age thing was. Like, I don't know how young I was when I
Mhm.
got the shit scared out of me. And that other one, I remember too watching. I had nightmares from the Lost Boys. That was that was probably the first real scary movie I saw. I remember seeing that in the first house that
Hmm.
we had,
Mhm.
and that one I think it was the whole setting. Like, I remember my
Just the
parents
environment in general was
just,
just
yeah,
scaring the
I
shit
was
out of you.
all by myself in like this room where there was like a screen door, and it was a hot summer day, and the wind was blowing and stuff, and they had it was in the movie there was a scene where it was all dark, and they go and they like stab the main vampire, and it's all windy and shit, and it was like it just matched what was going on outside to what was going on inside.
Oh
And I was just
shit,
like,
dude.
oh my god, they killed the vampire, and now he's coming for us. And then I'm just like, that night, like laying in my bed, like, I didn't have anything to do with this. They're not coming for me. I'm cool. It's fine.
Comfort me.
Yeah. So the Chucky and stuff, the Chucky, that experience was real bad. But I don't know. From then on, so yeah, Chucky scared the shit out of me. But I think it was all too much in one day, and it messed with me. But for some reason, like Jason really appealed to me. And I wasn't a big fan of Freddy Krueger. I didn't like watching that stuff. I remember going to the video store and looking at the back of the cases, and Freddy just looked gross. Like, not just him himself, but like the movies themselves. Like,
Hmm.
Wes Craven apparently likes to make everything look wet.
Yeah.
Like, I remember looking at the back of one of them, and like there's one person that looks like they're just bloated, like they ate way too much stuff, and another one like stuffed in a fridge, and I'm just like, ugh, like I don't like the way any of this looks. I don't want to watch that. But Jason, they're like showing all these people at a camp, and I saw some things of it, like the original one, like that one looked creepy, and I was like, I don't know if I can watch this, but I'm gonna try it. And I watched the first one, and then they all get a little bit sillier as they go on, and
Mm-hmm.
I think that's when I really started liking them.
Mm-hmm.
For like, I liked watching the messed up scenes and seeing how good somebody could fake, because I knew it was fake.
Right.
But like,
Even watching it as a
there was a
kid,
scene.
you're just
Yeah,
like,
there
this is
was
a
a scene in
movie.
one
I
of the
know
Friday
that
the
it's not
13th.
real.
Yeah, yeah, there was a scene in one of the Friday 13th though. Like, I never saw any special effects like what they had done in this movie. Like, I've seen like fake animals and fake stuff. You're like, okay. But there's a Friday the 13th. I remember when Jason comes up behind this girl and he stabs her in the top of the head with a knife.
Oh God.
And the blade pokes out under her chin. And I remember seeing that, like, oh my god,
Yeah.
like, did
Holy
they really
shit.
kill this girl to make this
Oh
movie? Like,
no.
for a for a
Oh
moment I was
no.
like, what the fuck? But then I realized, like, no, they didn't do that. But like, that was just amazing special effects, like, great work.
Yeah.
But then there was this like, it was this combination of, they can do these special effects, but the storylines are junk, and I'm laughing at them, making fun of them at the same time as going like, there are aspects of this movie that are absolutely brilliant. Like, these people don't get enough credit, and then there's also the storyline of it where you're just like, these people can't act for shit. These are so stupid. Like, why are these girls going upstairs? Like, what are you doing? What's happening? Like, Jason's outside walking at a steady click, like
Yep.
not even running,
Mm-hmm.
and you decide, I'm gonna go upstairs where he can come, like, just keep
Just I'm a
jogging down the road.
yeah,
He's not
duh.
gonna catch you.
Don't go into a
It's
corner, you idiots.
right.
That's I
You're
think
not
why
dealing with a zombie outbreak. It's one guy walking after you.
right.
Just keep running.
I think that's actually probably why like so initially as a kid they scared me and then I think I did catch on to that as an adult when I was finally like just around friends who were like we're going to watch a horror movie and I was like yeah okay not really my thing but whatever and then I saw that ridiculousness in it and I think that's just when I dropped out. I'm like meh meh the
Yeah.
ridiculousness just doesn't do it for me. Yeah.
Well, there's something about that ridiculousness that made me enjoy it. And I was just,
Yeah, I'm not criticizing.
and
I'm just
now,
saying.
yeah. And now that transitioned into, now when I see a horror movie that goes beyond that ridiculousness, that does all those super cool special effects things, plus has a storyline that
Mm,
really
mhm.
works,
Mhm.
that's where I'm like, oh my goodness.
Mhm.
Because, like, we don't even really need to get into it right now, but like, this is beyond childhood. The Hills Have Eyes is probably not even my favorite horror movie. It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Really? Wow.
I just love it. I just, like, I know it's super messed up, and I know it sounds really weird to say, like, I love it, but just
As
everything about how
well, I mean, as
how
somebody
they
who doesn't know about horror movies, I have no idea, which is why we'll make it another topic because honestly, I don't know anything about The Hills Have Eyes. I mean, I know it's a horror movie. I know it's great. I know it's like critically acclaimed, or at least I've heard enough about it to assume it's critically acclaimed. but
yeah.
But you know what I'm saying is just like I don't know enough about it. But yeah, we can save that for a different time. But on the same scale of what you're saying is the special effects, the story and stuff like that. That's how Toy Story got me was because that nobody had ever done a movie like that ever before. You know what I mean? Like
Oh, for
CG,
sure.
CG, and being a geek
Dude,
nerd kind of person, and to
yes.
have a story happen like that, it's like fuck. Because,
Hmm.
as in my opinion, Disney was kind of falling off. We were, and you know this. I'm sure you know this too. Is like Lion King. Like classic Disney classic. And then they started to have movies that just didn't do as well. And then all of a sudden, here comes Pixar. And they do this 100% in the computer. It's a CG movie, 100%. And CG was like not
Yes.
even that well used because it just was expensive and hard to do, and not that many people knew how to do it. And this whole movie was made inside a
Right.
computer
And a
with
lot of people
special
did it
effects.
shitty.
Yeah. Oh, right. Shitty. Especially, it was bad. And then this whole movie
Hmm.
just being made inside a computer only with special effects, for lack of a better term at the time. It was only special
And
effects made.
so good.
And so good.
Oh my god, it looks so amazing.
Still,
Yes.
it does not
It's
look
so
like
clean. It's
shit.
so crisp.
Hmm. And it still
No.
is, story wise, still great movie. And
It's
that was my
so
game
good.
changer when it was like, oh my god, this is the fucking future, which it is. But like,
Yeah.
holy
Yeah, for
shit,
sure.
that was one of the childhood movies that just got me.
Hmm.
Oh my god, it's hard to explain because
Me
it
too,
goes into
man.
video games so much too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was like for the other video game nerds out there, they'll relate to it. It's like a pre-rendered scene in a video game where you're playing through
Mm.
the video game and then you get to a pre-rendered scene,
Mm-hmm.
something that you're not actually playing.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden it's like just crisp, clean. It's the character that you've been playing the whole time, but suddenly he's just immaculate. He
Ramped
looks
up,
so
dude.
good.
Yeah.
He's not this boxy version
Mm-hmm.
that you've been playing the whole time. You're
Right.
like, oh my god, that's what I look like? Wow,
Yeah, it's
I'm
like
a beast,
seeing yourself in the
you
mirror
know?
for the first time.
Right. It's like, oh, I thought I looked cool, but man, I look so
I look
cool.
so
But
cool.
the Toy Story, like, it's so well done, and like you said, it's one of the, like, still to this day, it looks awesome. And back then, there was nothing else like it. There was little bits here and there. Like, I remember when we were kids, like, I I was into a lot more TV shows than movies,
Hmm.
because before Toy Story it was just regular animated stuff.
Yeah.
And I think everybody that was a kid was into The Lion King, but like you said, a lot of the other Disney movies was a lot more geared towards my sister.
Hmm. Yeah,
Like
for sure.
you got
Princess
you
movies,
got
I mean, that's really the best way to sum it
all the
up.
princess movies.
Hmm.
Right. There's all those princess movies.
Yep.
And that's that's what it was. And then you
Yep.
get Toy Story comes out, and it's
A buddy cop
just
film.
even just the dude, even just the storyline,
Yeah.
like the the perspective of the toys are alive and you get to watch what the toys do when you're not around, because they don't move when humans are around, but when they're not
Yeah.
around,
Uh-huh.
this is their life. It's
Right.
like, oh my god, this is so smart.
So good. It was just like a childhood dream, just watching it come to like, there it is. It's just living it. It's like
Right.
that's my childhood right there. You're like, oh, my toys
Yeah.
do come
And
alive.
it's
I
like
do have a toy named
and it's
Woody.
like the
Like,
anti-Chucky.
it is. Holy
Because
shit, dude. It
because
totally is.
you got Chucky freaking you out, like my doll is gonna come to life and murder me. And then you see Toy Story and you're just like, oh no, the majority of my toys are super
Are
cool.
super cool. And they actually want to go
Just
against the
that
bad
asshole
guy.
Mr. Nice Guy.
Is that back to Half Baked? Is that back to a Half Baked reference?
No, so I think it's the I said Mr. Nice Guy, but yeah,
Uh-huh.
that is
You
half
totally
baked.
did.
But I think it's like the good guy or something. Good guy dolls or something. What
Oh.
what Chucky is like
Mm-hmm.
a good guy doll, and
Yeah.
there's a couple different ones, I believe, like
I
they
think
have
there's
different
two.
names.
Yep.
And then Charles, because I don't think they're all called Chucky.
No, none of them
There's
are
like
actually
Charles
called Chucky.
Burdella or something.
None
I
of them
can't
are
remember. He's
actually
like a
called Chucky, I
serial.
think.
Is that what it was? Because I can't remember.
Oh, you're
Because
talking about in the
because
movie
it's a
actually, or you're talking about the like real life counterpart that Chucky's based off of?
well, there was never a real. doll like that.
Close enough. There's like My Buddy or
Yeah,
something like that. If you look up My Buddy
yeah,
doll, that was the one it was based off of. A
right.
My Buddy,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, maybe it is a real doll. I don't
Dude,
know.
I'm telling you, the
I
My
don't
Buddy
remember.
doll is like the real thing. Yeah. Look up a My Buddy doll. Just for everybody out there, and you too, Tim. Look up a My Buddy. Chucky's totally based off of My Buddy doll. It's bad. Probably part of the reason why I hated it. But you're right though, because there's only the one part. There's some parts of Toy Story that are creepy, but you're right. It's like the anti Chucky. It totally is the anti Chucky. I never thought
Oh
about that
yeah,
before.
yeah. No, you're right. My buddy doll. I remember that, but it's not Chucky. But yeah, it
No,
definitely
but
is
that's what
based
it's
off of that.
based
It's
off.
real close.
Mm-hmm. So,
Yeah, because I want to say Chucky's like Mr. Good Guy or whatever,
oh, that's like
but
it's
it's something
generic
like
name on the in the movie, right?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, and then it's the whole storyline with that was it's a I believe he was a serial killer
yeah. And then he
that
got put
finds some
into the doll,
amulet and
right?
puts
An
his soul
amulet.
into the doll just for time being, and it's that's just a halfway point. So that's why he's after Andy the whole time because he's
Ah,
trying to
because
kill
he has a
Andy and
specific grudge
take
against that
his
kid.
body.
Yeah. Oh, okay, okay.
No, he wants his body. He
Mm-hmm.
wants to get into a kid's body,
Right.
and
Another
for some
human.
reason he wants Andy's body. I can't remember what the real
Who
story
the
is,
hell
but
knows?
yeah, that's why he's able to
Mm.
keep living because it's his soul going from like body to body or whatever. I don't know. It's stupid. It's
Yeah,
real
yeah.
dumb storyline.
Well, of course it is.
Like
It's that kind of movie.
the story
Oh
I
shit.
like thinking back on it, I gotta finish this part about how stupid it is in case you don't know, in case people don't know, because it is the dumbest, like the storyline. I think that's where, like, conquering my fears, going back to it, realizing how stupid everything was, it was like, why was I scared of this? Because it's all so goddamn dumb. And now I'm just like in love with it because it is so stupid. But the first one, Chucky, kills all those people, and then him, Andy, and his hot baby sister, or babysitter, not baby sister, his hot little baby
That's hot
sister.
baby sister.
Dang, booze got me saying weird words.
It is the best. That is the best Freudian slip ever.
But so they all go into this plant and it's like nothing but the good guy dolls. Like they're everywhere. Like, oh no. And just like this is terrifying. Like Chucky's one of these and it's so scary or whatever. And for some reason they get to a plant part where there's like everything's coming together and there's like some sort of like an acid and the parts are getting put on and Chucky ends up getting on the machine and it's like giving him extra arms and shit and he comes out like
What
this thing and then they spray the acid
fuck?
on him and he becomes this weird blob of like there's an arm coming out of his head and shit
What the
and
fuck?
that's how they
It's like
end up
inside the
killing
video
him and
game.
you're
I don't. You probably
yeah
never played it, but if you ever played inside the video game,
oh
it's just a blob of arms and limbs and shit coming out at the end.
oh really
Spoiler alert! Whoops, too early. Too late. I mean,
well I think I'm alright that one didn't sound very appealing
no.
the
It's
title the
seriously no. It's just like what it's. I'm not even kidding you. It's in my top 10 video games of all time. It's fucking awesome. But like,
really
oh yeah, it just has the fucking strangest ending ever. I was like, what just happened? Anyways, you keep going.
right
It
so
seriously sounds like
so
inside the
anyways
video game's ending.
I'll have to check that one out. But they destroy Chucky, right? And they basically kill him doing all that nasty stuff. Like he's just this blob of like whatever.
Yeah.
So for some reason in the beginning of the second movie, they decide to like take this like scrap junk and just go and like make a new doll out of it. Like I can't remember exactly, but it's like new parts. Like we'll
Oh
just
my
like
god.
remake the doll. Like no point in wasting this murderous blob.
Oh my god.
and then and then for some reason like there's a machine that like takes the eyeballs out and like puts them into the doll, and like
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
doctor that's working on it, like it actually grabs his actual eyeballs out and
Oh,
stuff, and
what
he's just
the
like
fuck, dude? Oh
and
my
you're just like,
god.
no. And like this is, I mean, this is the stuff that I saw when I was way too young, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh no, Chucky can't be stopped.
Oh no.
And your little mind doesn't make like logic stuff of it. You're just like,
Mm-hmm.
no, that's Chucky. Like why? No, don't fix him. Oh no, no, you died, stupid. You're dumb. You brought him back. But then you watch it when you get a little bit older, and you're just like, oh my god, this is the stupidest shit ever. And all those movies, like how they keep bringing them back, you're just like, oh. And I think that's where I really fell in love with it. Like Jason Takes Manhattan, the way he gets brought back. I don't remember if it's brought back in that movie or brought back in the movie after Jason Takes Manhattan. But there's like a ship that's like or like a bigger boat that's in the water, and they put their anchor down, and the anchor ends up getting snagged on Jason's
Oh,
dead body,
Jason.
and then
Oh
like
god.
lightning strikes the boat, and he like you're just like, these movies are so damn
Yeah,
stupid.
no, that's why I didn't. That's why they never caught on with me, and it was from they were never favorites as a kid. I just know that they were being watched, and
Right.
fuck, it's just weird. It's weird to think about
That
now
same
because of how much it had traumatized you at one point, and now you're just like, I'm in, let's go.
and
When's
now I'm
Jason
just laughing
13
at,
coming out when they're gonna be on Mars or
I
some
think
shit?
I think I think that might have been a big reason, like how it shaped just my life. Like my coping mechanism is humor with everything, and
Mm-hmm.
now it's
Yep.
like what I was most scared of, I now laugh at.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and it's my favorite to laugh at. I
Right.
love it. Like Jason Takes
It's
Manhattan.
a good point.
There's a part in that movie where you get kind of like the hero, where Jason's going against this uh younger fit black dude that's a boxer,
Oh,
and he starts just feeding Jason the 1 2 to pop 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 pop, and
he's
he's
boxing
just
him.
laying into him, and
Mm-hmm.
he's reeling. Yeah, he's got Jason on the ropes a little bit. Like Jason's walking back and walking backwards, and you're like, oh shit, yeah, bro, like just go,
Fuck him
yeah,
up. Fuck
keep
him up.
giving it to him. And and he hits him with so many shots, and he gets to the end where he's got nothing left, and he's so worn out that he can't swing anymore. Like that's how many shots he gave Jason. And he's like kind of hands on his knees, and he's like, all right, give me your best shot. And Jason uppercuts his head right off his body.
Yes,
it's, just,
dude.
it's just
Oh my god, that's
so
so
stupid.
stupid. I love it. First hit, first just punch.
Yeah, and he makes a basket. He uppercuts his
Oh,
head right off
and
his body, and it banks around, and then it lands in a dumpster. You're just like, all right,
swish, bro.
I'm on Jason's side again. That was badass. That dude was beating him up, and you're just like, yeah, Jason, get some. And then all of a sudden, Jason knocks his head off, and you're just like, oh, Jason's
I
unstoppable. I'm back on
guess.
Team Jason.
Oh shit! All right. Before we turn into the Tim Horror Movie Hour, we better stop because that's what it seems like it fucking turns into every time.
I can't stop talking
I
about it.
don't.
It's so funny to
I'm
me.
not criticizing you at because I just let it go because I think it's fucking beautiful. But before we do get that far, we might as well wrap it up because we are 2 hours. We're over 2 hours into our 1 hour podcast, so we might as well wrap it up here.
Jeez. That's a long time. Hey, I gotta say, like, since I know we're talking about the movies and we didn't get super in depth, but I cried when Littlefoot's mom died.
Oh shit! I cried when Mufasa
Yeah.
died. That was my first time crying at
Mufasa,
a
that's the
movie.
sad one.
That was the first time I cried at a movie ever.
Mufasa, that was sad, but it didn't get me. But I remember The Land Before Time.
Oh, I remember
Littlefoot's
that
mom
too.
dies in the beginning.
Oh yeah.
That's sad.
I don't know
Just a
why
big
that never
lump in
got
the.
me. Maybe it's because it wasn't on
I
the
don't
big
know.
screen. I didn't see that movie in the theaters.
I guess everything gets different people. Like,
Oh
if you
yeah.
get emotionally invested in it, it depends on where you're seeing it too. Like, if you're actually like watching it hard, like
Mm-hmm.
some of those movies get you, man.
Oh, I know.
Like even later in life, like uh,
There we go.
I'm a full grown man.
I was just gonna say I'm putting tear jerkers on the things to talk about later, because I ain't scared.
Yeah, you want to talk? All right. If we want to put down some tear jerkers, I'll save it for another episode.
Yeah, we should for
We'll bring
sure,
in
for sure.
we'll bring it we'll bring in some hidden gems,
Yeah.
cuz I got some for you.
Oh,
I
I
got
believe it. I believe it.
uh I got one where, I'm a outdoorsy type dude, and I got a movie for you where you're just going to be like, "What?
I
What?"
may know this one, but that's great foreshadowing and a great note to end this episode on. So we are over 2 hours into our 1 hour podcast. We call this the
Maybe
real
we can edit
AFT.
it down.
Maybe, probably not. I'm not going to edit it down. I have like four notes on here, but it's gonna be a 2 hour podcast, whatever. That's how it's gonna be because we are 2 hours and 4 minutes. I'm that's forecasting. That's projecting into the future. We're 2 hours and 4 minutes into our 1 hour podcast, and we call it the Real AF TV, the podcast where we talk about fishing and random takes from the land of 10,000 lakes. If you are not from the land of 10,000 lakes, that's okay because we don't necessarily pin everything down here. It's just our perspective because we grew up here in Minnesota. We want to hear your
And
opinions.
that's where we live now.
That's right. We still live here. We grew up here. And I would love for people outside of Minnesota to take a listen and school us a little bit if we talk out of line on what's going on out there so that we have more motivation and more knowledge of what's going on in your fishing area or your movie area of horror movies. I hear Texas is a great place
Yeah,
for horror movies. I don't know. I'm just making that up.
Texas.
It's a big state.
Texas
Everybody
is
gets
a
scared.
big Texas is a big place. A lot
Texas
of
and
stuff is.
Montana and Alaska. People be scared.
Well, those places are scary, but a lot of the serial killers that made these movies, like the stuff that's based on them, are from Wisconsin.
Yeah, I know. What up, neighbors
You
in
creepy
Wisconsin, you
fucks over in
creepy bastards?
Wisconsin. Hey, cheese eating fucks.
Yes, the Minnesota Wisconsin rivalry does not end at the border. It's all in fun.
No,
Love you guys. That
it is all in fun. I love cheese,
Me too. God damn.
but I don't like your Packers, you dick turds.
Eat farts, right? Is that the word you were saying you wanted to coin that earlier?
Suck a fart, buddy. Suck a fart. Suck a fart, you
Oh.
cheese eating Packers.
All right, man. It's been a good one. We'll talk to you soon. Visit us at realaf.tv or other versions of Real AF TV. Google us. Hopefully, our SEO has got us high enough up where you can just Google RELL. Nope.
Hopefully.
REELAF TV and find us. realaf.tv. Find us out there on the internet. We'll see you later.
And,
I'm Josh Labaugh.
and I'm Tim Wagner, and wherever you're listening to this podcast, if you could subscribe and leave us a how many star rating you want. I don't care. Like 1 star wouldn't be great. I wouldn't like that. You're gonna make me grumpy. But 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 if you could give us a review and tell your friends and stuff if you like what you're hearing, cool. If you don't like what you're hearing, just
Get the
leave.
fuck out of here. We'll
You probably
never hear from you
yeah, you
again.
stupid Packer. Probably you don't like us because
You-
you're from
You
Wisconsin.
probably don't like us because we're from Wisconsin.